Survivor Series 2017 predictions. Mike Messier. Let's get right to the predictions. First match, that's at least, we don't know if this is the exact order, but Enzo Amore defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Kalisto. I want to stick with Enzo keeping the belt this time. It seems like, you know, for all the shit that they give Enzo, for all the shit that Enzo, you know, backstage heat or whatever the fuck, it seems like it's something to do. It's kind of working in some weird way. You know, I think Kalisto, you know, you could do a thing, I guess, where Enzo's little buddy, the guy with the signs, I can't remember his name right now, if he were to cost Enzo the championship, you could start a little feud with those two guys. That might happen. But I'll stick with Enzo winning, retaining. The Miz versus Baron Corbin's an interesting match. I'll go with Baron Corbin in a controversial cheating manner. You know, just to do something like that. I think Miz, his character is actually stronger, the Miz, in my opinion, and therefore he can take a loss better. The next one we have, I believe, we've got a nice women's traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. And I guess there's still, as of this thing, I'm looking at Bleacher Report to give them credit, if this is still valid, that there's a missing spot, unless Bayley's taken that spot or some such thing. Yeah, you know, I guess Asuka, Sole Survivor, seems like the thing to do. You know, they're trying to build her up, trying to make her something, get that cash investment. I see that, according to this, anyway, Miss Money in the Bank is in the match, which could be interesting. And coming off of Ellsworth's unfortunate or fortunate firing, might be nice to see. But I'll say Asuka. So I'm going with Asuka as the sole survivor of the women's match. Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. That might be the best match in the card. And why do I say that? It's two women that are over. Bleacher's predicting Charlotte. I don't know if I would. I might predict Alexa with Nia Jax interference for the victory. So I want to predict Alexa with the victory. Looks like this is not title for title, but I just think that Alexa, you know, is just going to win for whatever the fuck reason. So we go to the Shield versus the New Day. This is actually a very intriguing matchup. Both teams are over. Both teams are a lot of, I would say, fun. I mean, I'd say New Day is more fun in my world. But, I mean, you know, the Shield, I think it's a great match. I mean, I think that if you were a fan, you know, back in the day of any different time zones and you wanted to see the Four Horsemen versus the Bobby Brain Heenan family, for instance, or you wanted to see this clique, the NWO versus DX, you know, this in its truest form. I mean, I think that this, within the confines of WWE, you know, outside of some type of Bullet Club or some type of thing like that, or the Kingdom or something, the Shield versus the New Day is about as good as you're going to get. So I do like this match. I do think it's a good match. Looking at the players involved, it's kind of hard to pick a winner. It is a really good thing here. I think I'm going to go with a cop out. I'm going to go with a double DQ, and I know that's a cop out, but I just think that if you had to pick one to win, I think you'd pick the Shield. You know, maybe Roman pinning, you know, what's his dick, the porn guy. But I think Xavier, that's what I'm talking about. But I want to go with the double disqualification because I think it really is a match, believe it or not. Although it's a six-man, it's a hard match to really have a team lose and not, at this point, damage them. And I think it's something you could hold off for a rematch for Royal Rumble or something. So I think I'm going to go with a double DQ. And I am. Okay, this is a good match. I think as of this minute, we've got Usos versus The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. I do like the match, but I don't because, honestly, although I do like the Usos a lot more now with the penitentiary thing, and I'm starting to pick a lot of SmackDown teams, it's very, very close for me to just pick the Usos in this. But once again, it's another match where it's hard to really pick. I don't know. It's a good match. I think it's a tough one. And I think I'm going to go with the Usos. I just think that I will go with the Usos. I think I'm leaning, as you can see, a lot of SmackDown things I'm going with here. But I'm just going to go with, we're going to go with the Usos for some reason. Men's traditional 5-on-5 elimination match. Some might say, this is really, in a lot of ways the main event or the featured match at least. I mean, it's hard to say. But you've got all these great talents in this thing. Kurt Angle, Triple H, Cena, Shane. I mean, you've got guys from the 2000 generation. You've got guys like Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode, if he's still in this match. You've got Randy Orton. You've got the big man, Braun Strowman. Nakamura. I mean, I'll give him credit. This is actually a pretty intriguing match. And I can't really say that either team is bad. I'd say that it's going to be a hell of a thing, whoever has to book this thing, to actually decide who gets eliminated, if anyone's going to take a clean pinfall, at all. So, I mean, I think it's a tough match to book. Reminds me of, I want to say, was it 2001 or maybe it was 2002, 2001, 2002 Survivor Series, where they had that kind of end of the invasion angle, 5-on-5, with, I think Booker T was in it, RVD was in it, came down to The Rock versus Austin. Of course, Austin was representing WCW and ECW. It didn't make much sense because he was really a WWF guy, big time. But in any event, it's a really good match. I'm going to go with the decision that a lot of people have been saying, I'm sure, which is Jason Jordan comes in. The match is down to, say, Triple H and Angle versus, Cena and Orton. We'll just throw Orton in there because he's been around for so long. And we'll say that somehow or another, fucking Jason Jordan causes his own father's team to lose with the gimpy leg and so forth, which would set up a Triple H Jason Jordan match, which would then eventually set up a Kurt Angle Triple H match. So I am going to make a decision, and I'm going to predict Jason Jordan causes his team to lose. Now, I haven't been keeping track, but I think, on paper, but I think my decisions or my predictions are really leaning towards the Raw women's side, because I picked Alexa Bliss and I picked Asuka, and the men's side for SmackDown, because I picked mostly, if not all, including Baron Corbin, for SmackDown. So I think that's an interesting dynamic. If you had all the men win for SmackDown and all the women win for Raw, then you could have like the genders could kind of, make fun of each other on those shows and say, hey, we're the strong women and the men are weak on Raw, and then you can have the flip on SmackDown. If that's something they even want to go there, I mean, they might, but they might not. So now we get to our big ballyhoo main event. Now, I've predicted all these SmackDown male victories, but we're looking at AJ Styles and Brock. Look, these two guys, AJ Styles is a wrestler, okay? AJ Styles never went to UFC. I mean, we know this. AJ Styles never tried to do anything on the football field, as far as I know. He's always been a wrestler. Brock, has been a wrestler, a UFC guy, tried football. He's just an all-around personality, bully, thug in the world of pop culture. So who's worth more, in my mind, to wrestling fans? AJ Styles. And I don't even think he does the greatest promos. I mean, he's gotten better. But, I mean, it is another match where it's a good match. It's kind of good that the titles are not on the line. I would like to see AJ win because I just respect him more as a wrestler. Brock, to me, is a bully and a thug. And I really, if I were to bet my life, I would say Brock, but I'm not betting my life. My life isn't on the line. I'm going to go with AJ Styles for SmackDown, and I just am. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles, even though I don't think he's actually going to win. So that's Mike Messier, MikeMessier.com, with your Messier predictions. Thanks to the Bleacher Report for their nice presentation of these clips, these matches. Have fun tonight, fans.